Welcome back to Shemsuniverse. So today, guys, we're going to discuss Capricorn, the Eastern/Sidereal astrology. The governing dates for Capricorn on the Eastern side would be from about January 16th to February 14th. These people's lucky color would be blue and black. Lucky gemstone is going to be sapphire. And your lucky day of the week will fall under Saturday, representing Saturn. Saturn is the governing planet for Capricorn, and these people represent the Saturnine deity in the best way possible. When it comes to Capricorns on the Eastern side, there's a lot of similarities between the summarization of how they are on the Western front as well. These people are still very serious, disciplined, single-minded, pragmatic. They have all the characteristics of Saturn in the sense that they can also be dull, withdrawn, introverted, a little bit cynical towards life. But this helps them to really accomplish a lot of things in their life because they look at things from a very grounded perspective. Even though they're considered a cardinal sign, they act almost on a fixed modality. They always look at life from a sense of they need to be fixated on something and need to stay disciplined and consistent with it in order to be successful. Because of that, they are typically very, very successful, almost due to the negative mindset that they do have. And I like the way the Eastern astrology actually does bring that up more in comparison to the Western, that I'll just kind of fluff it up and say, oh, just be more positive and blah, blah, blah. The truth is, if you guys do have a negative mindset, it might not be negative for you because you're thinking of things in a very realistic way. I mean, the statistics behind things is not a lot of people are successful, not a lot of people can pay their bills, whatever it may be. And then that makes you guys actually work hard to get these said things done. So that actually does work to your advantage, even though it's sort of like a negative affirmation that you're giving in your own mind. The main life lesson for Capricorn would be to think outside of your own structure, meaning you guys are already very disciplined and consistent, and you guys are usually people that as kids were lending money to your parents from a very young age, probably were maybe even a therapist to a parent, because Saturn makes you guys sort of like an old spirit in a young body. Oddly enough, you guys actually become more youthful when you're older, especially from 60s to 80s in comparison to up until then. So what happens is, your life lesson, outside of the thinking about outside of your own structure, you guys have to understand that just because you're aiming for success and some sort of tangible results for all of the work that you're doing and all the struggle and strife that it entails, you need to find completion within yourself outside of the material realm. Without that completion, without that sense of fulfillment, you'll always be hunting for more, and that greed will lead you to a lot of material success. I'm not going to argue that and say it will not. It definitely will. But your sense of contentment and your spiritual elevation, if you're looking for that in this lifetime, you will not receive it because you're not actually doing things for the sake of the journey. You're more so just doing them to get something done off the checklist, then move on to the next, then move on to the next. This is what a lot of psychologists would consider achievement-based narcissism, meaning you guys just look at life as a series of achievements that you need to get done, and then each achievement just gives you more and more completion and more of that sense of fulfillment in your inner workings. So this is a good thing, like I said. This is really, I would say, practical for the capitalist society that we're in. However, it can prove to be sort of a disadvantage if you don't know how to control it, meaning put that sort of predator mind state away at certain times. A lot of the times it does discuss that you guys do have family issues as well. Of course, your early family life can have a fair deal of challenges just because Saturn always gives that sort of strife and struggle to teach you lessons that you can use to actually grow and mature in this lifetime. So what you want to do essentially is look at maybe the bad things that happen in your earlier stage of life, your adolescence or your formative years, and use those things to maybe even come up with a career. And you can structure your mind around that so you can actually help people maybe not go through the same things that you did, or at least be able to deal with them because you're a very strong person. Not everybody has the natural strengths that you guys have. So if you guys are able to actually teach your characteristics to other people, you can also ensue a lot of great karmic rewards in a next reincarnation that you are in. The main lesson, though, for you guys, like I said, is really finding that fulfillment, that spiritual realization that comes outside of material objectivity. It's going to be more of a subjective realization, which to you guys is unreal, but it still is something that's worth pursuing. It's something that you'll feel more rich, you'll feel better each day when you actually do find what makes you feel better about life. Some ideal occupations for you guys go from things that more so regard around organizing people or things. So things such as like human resources, accounting, politics, those sort of avenues for income are going to give you guys a lot of good luck because, for one, they're about being very organized and iron-willed and having a high stress tolerance. But for 2, they kind of put your natural characteristics, your natural strengths to work right away. And with that, you're able to actually get a lot more done. So use that information for what you will. With Capricorn, I don't always have a lot of advice just because you guys are going to do what you will do. You guys are very iron-willed. You guys are very much able to come up with your own conclusions and objectively make very logical decisions. So my whole thing is kind of to stop and smell the roses and make sure that you do appreciate the journey and not just the destination. Because once you get to that destination, there's always going to be another one and another one to pursue. So just make sure that you are appreciating the things as they're coming to you, and then you'll be able to actually have more fulfillment in this lifetime as it progresses. Like I said, if you guys also want to start any sort of businesses, I'd prefer you guys do it on a Saturday. Make sure you guys do wear a lot of like blue or black. Black helps you absorb negativity. The blue is going to help you sort of be a more receptive person, or at least viewed in that way. And it brings a more peaceful demeanor to those around you, especially in business matters. Try to avoid red because you guys are already kind of intimidating as is. So wearing red is going to make you guys kind of seem almost on the offensive. And this can throw off people when it comes to networking and certain business deals for sure. But aside from that, that should conclude this video. Guys, if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to leave it in the comments for me. Aside from that, like, subscribe. Holla at me. That's it for today, guys. Peace.